I'll just wait a minute while people are joining and then I'll introduce you. Is that all right?
Of course.
Okay. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to launch. This is our evening session, and we have the pleasure of welcoming Jennifer, and she is going to talk about Live Different Gap Year session, so how a gap year can be impactful. And so if you have questions, please just type them into the Q&A, and I will ask them to our guest at the end of the session. Okay, thank you,
Awesome.
Jennifer.
Awesome. Well, welcome to our session, everyone. I'm going to pre-apologize that I am currently hosting this session from one of the countries that we work in, as well as one of the countries that any of you gap year students or potential Live Different volunteer partners would be in, which is the Dominican Republic. So if you hear motorcycles or people, I do apologize. I'm here with a group and we'll just go from there. So I am the director of a company, an actual national charity called Live Different. We are a registered charity in Canada, and we operate on a number of platforms. We have some domestic programs, we have some travel programs, we have some short programs, and we also have a 3-month or 12-week inclusive gap year program that takes you to both Mexico and the Dominican Republic, learning tons about charity work and not-for-profit work. So this presentation is going to explore a little bit about what I believe through research and through my work, both as an educator and the director of international programs here, has shown me, or that I've had the pleasure of learning about in regards to gap year programs. So Live Different was established in 2000 as a Canadian charity, and we've been working internationally since 2005. We work primarily in the Dominican and in Mexico. We do have operations in Haiti as well. And our goal in the future would be to get those gap year students to all 3 of those countries, although safety and security and with the political unrest in Haiti right now, we haven't gone there in the last couple of years, and we are not going there again this year. But we are optimistic that in the future, Haiti will be returned to one of the countries that our gap years get to visit. Live Different exists with the mission to engage and empower youth in a lifestyle of compassion and service. So really the focus of nonprofit work, international development work, and humanitarian work. We want to engage with people who are like-minded with big hearts that want to really change the way that they go about doing things and making choices in their lives to help make the world a better place. We have 3 kind of pillars: be kind, live simply, and find a cause. And this is what is embedded and woven through all of our programs. Our academy program, being our gap year program, focuses on all 3 of these aspects and how young people of all ages can do this on a daily basis. So who am I? Like, who is this person? Why should I be listening to her? Well, my name is Jennifer. I have over 15 years of experience in education. I have worked in both the public and the private school sectors in Canada, in both Alberta and Ontario. I left education just 2 years ago, and I became the director of international programs for Live Different. My journey through education gave me a great opportunity to connect with lots of students and really drill down to see where potential lies and how I can help kids and students reach that potential. Through all of that time and years, I have learned that experiential learning, learning through travel, learning through doing, really is the most impactful and can create the most profound change in how we view ourselves, our futures, our value, our confidence, etc. And we have our Builds program and our Academy program that allows me to provide these opportunities for experiential learning and like really getting in there personally to students across Canada. So in my current role, I work with many high schools across Canada and the United States, as well as organizations and families and private people that would like to come and experience what it's like to do something a little bit different. But for the essence of the remainder of this program, I'm going to speak more about our Academy program, which is our 3-month, 12-week gap year program that travels from Mexico to the Dominican. In that program, we take students that are looking to do something a little bit different to gain some enhanced experience, put some things on their resume, reach outside. Sorry. There we go. Reach outside their comfort zones and learn a little bit more about themselves. So one of the first things we say a gap year can do for you, if it's planned and with travel that was designed to be impactful, is to broaden your perspective. So there are intentional activities and outings and assignments that are used to kind of make you think about the way you think. So encountering diverse perspectives, which foster empathy in you and a greater tolerance, making you understand others better, exposure to different cultures, lifestyles, beliefs. When you have this broadened perspective, you become someone that can look at problems through a much deeper creative lens with an opportunity to be a better problem solver, a better team player, a better contributor to any kind of academic program as well as a corporation. And it gives you like different things to write about other than just your simple high school experience that everybody might have. The second thing that we know that a gap year program does is it provides opportunity for personal growth. So when we take our gap year students, whether they're gapping from high school to university, gapping between 2 years of university and finishing, or after university, we know that personal growth is another avenue that we really hit on. You face challenges independently. You get to utilize problem solving skills and you get to become self-reliant. You're in an environment that you might have no experience in. You're going to see how you are more capable than you ever thought to do things that you might not ever have dreamed that you'd be able to do. We're stepping outside our comfort zones. And when we do that in a safe and a supportive manner, we can build confidence and we can build resilience in how we view ourselves, our problems, and upcoming challenges and hurdles that are going to take place in life between the ages of 17 and 26, per se. We also know that when we're in a situation that is new to us, that we've intentionally focused on, that we've engaged with travel, that we have opportunities for enhanced communication skills. So when you're in Mexico or you're in the Dominican with us, you might not speak Spanish. If we go to Haiti, you might not speak Creole. So we work on enhancing communication skills by interacting with people that have different backgrounds, that communicate in a different manner, that have different expectations of communication. We work on our adaptive skills and breaking down of language barriers, being adaptive and finding other ways to communicate with people, but also understanding where that communication comes from. And as you get to experience life in those countries through the eyes and through walking in the path of locals, you see that maybe sometimes things are communicated differently. I should word things a different way. I should be more patient. Maybe what I thought was the most important isn't really the most important. Again, all these things are interwoven with our previous 2 points. We also know that through travel, we can create opportunities for cultural appreciation. So when we're spending time with different cultures in their day-to-day life, we have a great opportunity to understand rituals, ceremonies. We gain further respect for those and the diversity that exists within those. We get to immerse ourselves in local traditions, cuisines, art, and just overall heritage of these countries that we're in. Whenever we understand something more fully, we become a more inclusive individual. We can bring the best of those worlds into ourselves and into the way that we look at different situations, different problems, different things that might come up for us as university students or as young new employees. It allows for career development. You have to think about the fact that many of you might be in grade 11 or 12 and you're sitting here and you're thinking, oh, why would I take a year off? I'm going to lose my momentum. Well, actually, research says quite the opposite. Taking a year off or taking some time off when it's done intentionally with some impactful decision makings or travel put in there with goals that are set and parameters of accountability to reach those goals, we know that you are creating opportunities for you to enhance your resume, to enhance your skill set, to make you more employable, to make you a better candidate for that scholarship, to allow you a better opportunity for admissions into certain programs, because you now are going to have unique experiences that you can write about, that you can put in your essay, that you can add to your resume, things that will help you stand out as someone who's not just a high school graduate. You are a high school graduate that learned about themselves, did something challenging, rose above that challenge, and was able to reflect on that and see how it best moves forward to improve you. We know that whenever we do something that's out of our norm, it's not our regular Monday to Friday, get up, go to school, learn our classes, we're gaining confidence in our own independence. Up until this stage, as grade 11 and 12 students, you primarily live with your parents. There's always been a safety net. There's always been someone there to help you make your decisions. One of the greatest things that we know about gap years, or even going off to university, is that you have to stand on your own 2 feet. Whether you realize it or not, parents and friends have influenced you, have laid little pebbles along to the steps of the decisions that they feel is right for you. And that's not wrong of them. They're doing it because they want to support, they want to help. But your first year of university, or when you make that decision to take a gap year or go to travel with maybe just one friend or maybe on your own, you are now here with a blank slate, making your own decisions, navigating new environments, finding your independence, overcoming obstacles on your own, and discovering who you are. Who are you outside of all of those other indirect influencers that you've lived with for your entire life? You also have opportunities to engage with many different avenues of nonprofit or charity work, but also different sectors throughout Live Difference Gap Year Academy program. So in Mexico, we spend time building homes, working with Doctors Without Borders, working in an eye clinic, working in a school, working with special needs children, working in an old age home, working in the fields. So you get a little bit of construction, you get some medical, you get some education, all while supporting not-for-profits and charity work. When you come to the Dominican, you're going to build a home, you're going to visit communities, you're going to see how politics work, you're going to learn a little bit of Spanish, you're going to take a leadership course. And so you're going to continue to enhance yourself by getting your feet wet, seeing what you like, seeing what you don't like, trying on some shoes, or a full university program. Currently this year, we have a young girl who really wanted to go into nursing. She's loving the eye clinic. She's loving the Doctors Without Borders support. Now she knows that when she comes back to Canada in about a month, she's really inspired, really engaged in that nursing program, and super ready and confident to take the next step. Another student wants to go into international development. So been talking a lot about why we pick certain houses, why do we work in certain communities, why do we build this way, and is really thrilled now about his international development program. So it gives you an opportunity to see, feel, and engage with lots of different industries, avenues, and educational pathways before committing to one. We know that in every new experience, there's an opportunity for meaningful relationships. At Live Different, we feel that the relationships between people is of the utmost importance, both with our students to students, students to our rest of our staff, students to the community, our volunteers to the community. But every time you make that decision to do something different and you're doing it with like-minded people, the opportunity to build those connections is strengthened. And when you're joining us for Academy from across Canada with students from across Canada, or the United States for that matter, with different backgrounds, different educational aspirations, different families, but you've all come together because you felt that travel and learning and self-discovery was something that was super important to you. You're going to have those connection points. You're going to automatically have a network of people across Canada and the US when you return from your gap year that have experienced something quite unique that bonds you. And many of these friendships that are forged through our programs last well into adulthood. We also understand we learn some gratitude and mindfulness through travel. We're very lucky in Canada to have what we have, to be privileged in the access to water and safe houses and clean air and education and healthcare. And when we travel, we have some appreciation. We can take away some mindfulness, and through those actions of mindfulness and gratitude, we become more humble. we become happier, and we have a clearer mind to help us forge the future. So at the end of the day, our academy program is exactly what it says here, an immersive semester where you study abroad in Mexico and the Dominican and Haiti. But like I said, safety and security is our number one concern. You get to experience local cultures, learn languages, become more aware of who you are and where you sit in the world and what you'd like to do with this wonderful opportunity we call your life through some hardcore, hands-on, experiential learning opportunities. Um, we believe that your gap year needs to be impactful, it needs to be purposeful, that travel allows you those opportunities to foster development, to understand other cultures, to become globally aware, to create a sense of purpose for yourself. These are experiences that you might not otherwise ever be able to emulate for yourself. But whenever you do have an opportunity to step outside that comfort zone, do something different, learn while doing, in the same time meeting people similar to yourself with like-minded goals and aspirations is just something that you should strongly consider. And that's pretty much it. This picture here that we're going to finish on is 4 of our academy students from last year, and they are participating in what we call our week in a life. So this is, we own this property that they're on, and they are living as though they were locals. It's quite an amazing experience, something that they usually talk about for many weeks and months to come. Cool. So I think I can stop sharing here, but we did have some questions. So I think I can go into the Q&A. So Dave, I can't see the slides. Oh, only my forehead. All right, sorry about that, Dave. But if you pop me a quick email, I am happy to send you the slides. So my email is, I'm sending it here, it's jennifer.huang@livedifferent.com. Email me and I can send you the slides. So there you go. Colton, does it cost anything to enlist in this program, or do you just volunteer your time? That's a really good question, Colton. It does cost money. Because we are a registered charity, our program is half is fundraisable with a certified Canadian tax receipt, and half is considered tuition. And it's about $9,000 for the 12 weeks. But we also have a pretty detailed youth scholarship fund, which you can apply to. And we often have donors or partners that have donated money to help make this experience more accessible to other students. So you're happy to apply for the Youth College Scholarship Fund as well. And like I said, with the half of it being fundraisable, many of our students raise their money for this experience through different fundraising activities like bottle drives or charity auctions or dinners out or movie nights or whatever. There's lots of different ideas out there. And we do have a full fundraising guide that we can answer for you. All right. And then what skills can we develop during the gap year? So Ramsey, what skills can we develop during the gap year? So there's so many. Communication, problem solving, critical thinking, language skills, leadership skills, independence. Like I could really go on and on and on. You actually enhance and develop every skill, I feel, that is required for you to be successful as a student, but also as a young adult. Colton, do most people do it right out of high school or during or after post-secondary? So we've had all different ages. So I would say the majority are between the first to 3 years right out of high school. So either they're grade 12 graduates and they've joined us for their gap year right away, or sometimes they've tried a year of university or a year of college and decided, I'm just really not sure what I want to do and this isn't the right program. I'm going to go on a gap year. I'm going to self-reflect. I'm going to see what I really like, what what kind of engages with me, and I'm going to reapply in a little bit. So I would say most of our students are between 18 and like 22, 23. But we have had a student last year that was 26. She had finished her undergrad and just wasn't sure if she wanted to go into the workforce or go do a master's degree or go to college and get a certificate of training. And so she came and joined us at 26. So we say we take students between 18 and like 26 or 27. We would consider an older applicant, but would require a more in-depth interview process to make sure that they were a good fit with the rest of the group that was attending. How long are the sections you can join? So AY. So that's a really good question. So our gap year program is 12 weeks. You do about 8 weeks in Mexico and about 6 weeks in the Dominican right now. Like I said, in the future, we do hope that it becomes like, 8 weeks, 6 weeks, and 2 weeks in Haiti, but we're not there just yet. So that's our gap year program. That's called our academy program if you're on any of our websites. And in the academy program, you do all 3 countries for 12 weeks. We have a condensed travel program called our Builds program. And in our Builds program, you get to come to the DR or to Mexico for 9 or 10 days, 9 in the DR, 10 in Mexico because of travel time. And in that 9 or 10 days, you get to kind of do like a mini academy. You get to do a couple of lessons on international development and the culture of the area that you're in. You get to build a home, you get to work in the community, you get to do some evening activities, you get to go on a little local excursion and learn about the local culture. And that's a 10-week program. And we offer those for public, anyone can join. Those are called our public builds. And you can go on those anytime throughout the year. They're on our website. We usually have them at Christmas, February, March, July, and August. Or sometimes we bring full schools or family groups. As long as there's a minimum of 12 to 15 volunteers, we can plan a trip like that for you anytime throughout the year. And you would just contact myself and we can talk about that in more detail. Colton, is there a certain time of year you guys go, or does this depend? That's also a really great question. So we currently are operating in the fall semester. So our students leave just after Labor Day weekend, usually the Thursday or Friday after Labor Day weekend in the first week of September, and they return the first week of December. We have talked about having a spring semester. We do just require enough registrations to move the program or to double our current program. And it would require us to do a little bit of fluctuation between how busy we are over March break with current high school students doing builds. But it's definitely not off the table. We currently would kind of gather interested people in a spring semester. And if we got to a critical number of like 8 or so, we would open up a spring semester, but we will be moving forward certainly with a fall semester for 2025. Okay, is there any other questions? I think we're good.
I think you've answered all the questions.
All right, I'm sorry that, what's his name, only saw my forehead.
No, we fixed that. We fixed it. We fixed it.
Okay.
I was just working on that in the background so that you wouldn't, yeah, we worked out how to do it.
There's one more question there.
Okay.
Are there any vaccinations? No, Colton. There are no required vaccinations on Live Difference half of kind of what you need, although we do highly recommend that you see a travel doctor or a travel clinic and get whatever vaccines your family or yourself feel comfortable in getting. We highly recommend hepatitis C vaccine, hepatitis or the Twinrix because you're traveling. But as far as country specific, there's nothing out of the ordinary.
All right, any last minute questions for our guest? Well, you have a few more minutes, but I just want to, on behalf of the Ottawa-Carleton District School Boards, thank you, Jennifer, for joining us and telling us about your organization and your program. It sounds really interesting, and a gap year has lots of possibilities. Thanks for joining us all the way from Dominican. So, yeah, we really appreciated learning from you. And, we may have one more. Let's see.
Colton. Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
You're very welcome,
Yes.
Colton. Please
So,
feel free to email me if you have any other questions. You can go on our website. It's easy to access. Hope to
yeah.
chat with you soon.
All right. Thanks so much.
All right. Thank you. Have a good day.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye.